Madam Speaker, to the bill.
To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, colleagues. I've been listening very carefully to the sincere and thoughtful discussion today, and I was not asked to make a presentation this afternoon. Didn't come with a well-prepared written speech, but had some observations I wanted to share after listening to all of you. So please treat them as not prepared in advance, but rather heartfelt this afternoon. And I have heard, Madam Speaker, several times today that we're about to pass historic legislation for our schools. And my thinking as I listened to that observation was, why did it take so long? Why haven't we done this sooner? And can we afford to wait any longer? Madam Speaker, there was a report released this morning indicating that a third of our high schools are now ranked in the bottom quarter nationally. Our classes are too big, our graduation rate is too small, and our schools are running at 3 weeks behind the national average in teaching days. As we heard, several hours ago, 3 weeks behind the national average means that we are graduating students with a year less time in the classroom than our neighboring states. And is it any surprise that they go forward in life struggling to succeed and struggling to well serve their future employers? And we have an opportunity to fix that here today, now. I'm so pleased that the bill before us pays proper attention to early learning and preschool programs, because too many of our young people, far too many of our young people, come to school challenged by households that are income insecure, healthcare insecure, food insecure. In my own district, 20% of the students are categorized as homeless. 1 in 5 of my students are homeless. A statistic that, quite frankly, I am ashamed of. And we have an opportunity to address those things here today with these commitments to early learning and preschool programs. But it's going to take an investment. And when we make an investment, it costs somebody money. So we have been talking about the money here today, and I believe what we have before us, Madam Speaker, is a thoughtful, well-crafted, well-considered compromise. We're going to exempt the first $1 million to help small businesses. We are going to deduct a third of either the cost of goods sold or the labor expenses to reduce pass-throughs. And we're going to reduce income taxes for Oregonians to minimize the possible effect of pass-through expenses. Is it a perfect solution? No, I don't think so. I'd rather that the floor were higher, because $1 million, quite frankly, isn't what it used to be. I'd like to see the exemptions higher. I'm concerned about my fishermen and my farmers and my dairymen. I'd like to see more attention to our community colleges. But it's a compromise. And if I've learned anything in 30 years of marriage, it's that compromising isn't losing. So we've been talking about the costs for nearly 5 hours now, and there's one cost that we haven't talked about. It's the cost of doing nothing. And we've been talking an awful lot about small business, so let me tell you about the cost to small businesses, because, Madam Speaker, in my district, I tried to open a new store and put people to work, and at the height of the season, I had to close that store because I couldn't find qualified, motivated, well-prepared employees. Had to close the store at the height of the season. Last night, my wife, who many of you know, said that she wanted to put new gutters on the house, and she started making phone calls. She couldn't find a business within 50 miles of our home that was still installing gutters because they couldn't find reliable employees that were well-prepared, well-motivated, and ready to go to work. And we've got restaurants along the coast who are no longer offering table service, only takeout service, because they can't find employees that are well-prepared, motivated, and ready to go to work. And that is the cost. That is the cost of doing nothing, because those small businesses have a stake in the decision that we make here today. And if we do nothing, then their all too frequent failure is a cost of doing that nothing. And as many of you know, in my district back home, a third of the residents are over the age of 65. They don't have kids or grandkids in the system, but they have a stake in the decision that we make here today, because they will rely on those graduates to provide everything from their health care to their lawn care. And the largest industry, interestingly enough, in my coastal district is retirement. So when we have those retirees When we have those retirees who are going elsewhere.
Excuse me, Representative. Representative Scouten yields her time. Please
Thank you,
continue.
Representative. The largest industry in my district is retirement, and so when those retirees can't find health care or elder care, or for that matter, even lawn care, they go somewhere else, and that industry suffers. Madam Speaker, it's about schools, it's about kids, it's also about small business, and it's about retirees. We all have a stake in the decision that is being made here today, which is why I will be voting yes, because the cost of doing nothing is far too high. Thank you.